How's it going, everybody? I am the Texas Man. I hope you guys are all having a fabulous day. Please give this video a thumbs up if you guys really enjoy it. Subscribe if you guys have not already. Also, do me the biggest favor of all, hit that bell notification button so you guys don't miss out on future videos or streams here on the channel. With that, of course, we're going to be continuing on with reading through this. This is the Island 2, The Creature. This is going to be part number 5. We are, of course, continuing where we just left off with part number 4. Make sure you guys check out part 1, 2, 3, and 4. And let's get into this. This is going to be continuing on. This is going to be Chapter 5, The Mysterious Creatures. Alright, so let's roll. Chapter 5, The Mysterious Creatures. As time continued onwards, the heavy rainstorm passed on, and the sun finally broke through the clouds. Let's get a move on, people. We only have 5 days before the islands sink, said Jack, waking everyone out of bed. Kate and Tiffany made scrambled eggs and bacon for breakfast for everyone, and 30 minutes later the group left the house of the vampires and continued west. Hours passed by until Jack paused in his tracks to see something very familiar. The rest of the team walked past Jack to see a gigantic pit with hatched gold eggs. "Jack, come over here," yelled Nick from a great distance in the forest. "What is it, Nick?" asked Jack, walking over to Nick and with everyone else on Jack's sides. "I think we have a problem," said Jack. "How does that hatched dark black egg become a greater problem than the other eggs?" asked Luke. "Because most dinosaurs and creatures are gold. However, this one is black, and most likely means that the creature we have all seen comes from an egg," said Jack. "I still don't see the big picture," said Luke. "If the creature can reproduce asexually, then there might be more than one of these deadly smoke clouds on the islands," said Jack. Luke and the rest of Jack's people realized they might have bigger problems than just the island sinking in 5 days. The team left the area of the hatched eggs and continued walking west, unaware that the creature had been following the humans ever since they left the house of the vampires. Oak and pine trees were constantly sprouting out of the ground in every direction, and the group hoped that Kate knew where she was leading them all. At last Jack paused and looked up, left, and right to an immensely high and extremely long strip of hills. "What now, honey?" asked Jack to Kate. "We came up in the hills for the night and continue in the morning," replied Kate. "We still have at least 5 hours of daylight left to travel. We don't have to waste time," said Jack. "Unless you wish to travel for several hours through the night before we reach the other strip of hills for a safe place to rest, I would strongly advise remaining up in these hills," said Kate. "If what you say is true, then we camp here for the night," said Jack. The team climbed the rocks of the hills very easily, and reached a position flat enough to make a small campfire, to have heat, yet not attract creatures. Everyone took their shoes off and rubbed their feet to relieve the pain. The individuals ate from what they had stuffed in their pockets, and huddled around the campfire for warmth before going to sleep. Soon Jack and Tiffany were the only 2 people not asleep, so Tiffany decided to sit next to the leader and talk with him. "You should get some rest, Tiffany," said Jack, looking at the beautiful young lady. "You should also," said Tiffany, in a humorous tone of sorts. "I don't sleep well when my people are exposed to creatures, especially with that smoke cloud out there roaming around," said Jack. So what did you do before your flight crashed, Mr. Woodson?" asked Tiffany. "Please, just Jack. I was in the middle of leaving one job, being hired for another job on the island of Madagascar for a mechanic, and going on a honeymoon at the same time," said Jack. "Sounds like Flight 193's crash screwed your plans," said Tiffany. "No, not really. I knew it was not going to work out the way I wanted it to," said Jack. "What do you mean?" asked Tiffany, wondering if Jack caused the plane to crash and was responsible for the deaths of those on board. "I am a dreamer, and I have the ability to see events before they occur in my sleep," said Jack. Why didn't you prevent the deaths on the first island? Asked Tiffany. Because of my dream, I didn't prevent the deaths, and if I tried to, only worse things might have transpired, replied Jack. What do you see for the future? Asked Tiffany. Like I said before, Tiffany, I have not been able to sleep well, so it limits my vision, answered Jack. Tiffany left Jack alone and went to sleep while Jack kept watch over his people. Jack watched and waited for Tiffany to be asleep before he spoke out loud to himself. At least I know some of us will survive this situation, but not all, said Jack, having had lied to Tiffany about his vision limitations. Hours later, everyone awoke from their sleep on the hard, rocky ground and looked down the hill range where they were going to see something very mysterious. While the individuals were eating breakfast, the sun rose up and began blazing down on the area. Let's get going, people. We only have 4 days left before the island sinks, said Jack. The team carefully climbed down the west side of the hills and headed towards the strange objects they saw in the forest. 10 minutes later, the team of 8 stopped walking and froze in their conversations. The group had reached an area of the second island that had gold eggs that were 8 feet tall and unhatched. What was the scariest thing of all about the eggs was that there were rows and columns of these eggs that covered a mile. What could have laid so many creature eggs in such a short time span? Asked Mark, as the group walked through the maze of eggs. That might have been able to, said Chris, seeing a lizard of some sort sleeping near the edge of the forest. Everyone lowered their bodies to the ground and spoke very soft to not awaken the creature. What is that thing? Asked Jack. It is a Komodo dragon, answered Chris, seeing the gigantic lizard. If these eggs are its offspring, then where is the other dragon? Asked Jack. Komodo dragons are all female and can reproduce asexually, said Chris. Let's be very, very silent and continue onwards to the second strip of hills, said Jack. While the group walked past the Komodo dragon, they examined its snake-like tongue, its 4 legs and tail. Just as Kate stepped into a puddle of water, the Komodo dragon awoke and leaped into the trees of the forest in the direction where the humans needed to go. Everyone had their machine guns ready and saw the 300-pound leaping lizard walking on the tops of the trees. Everyone run and open fire on that flesh-eating creature, yelled Chris. The group dashed into the forest and watched the lizard come crashing down 50 feet and still alive. Once everyone was a great distance into the forest, Jack informed everyone to keep running while he dealt with the Komodo dragon. The lizard continued to rampage through the forest on the dirt ground, and Jack began to climb an oak tree to prepare for the dragon's death. The 7 individuals were gone from Jack's sight, and suddenly the sound of the Komodo dragon's tongue was gone. Jack reached a high enough position where the beast could not reach him, sat down on a branch, and breathed in slowly, and aimed his machine gun around, hoping that the Komodo dragon would not surprise him. The silence remained for another 30 seconds until Jack looked below to see the Komodo dragon ready to pounce and eat Jack alive. Come get some, said Jack, holding his machine gun ready. The Komodo dragon leaped up, opened its mouth, missed Jack by 2 feet, and landed back on the ground. I thought you would learn you can't kill me, islands, no matter what you send to kill me, said Jack. Jack opened fire, shot at the ground, and suddenly the ground exploded. Kaboom! Jack, Kate, Chris, Bobby, Nick, Tiffany, Mark, and Luke stopped in their run, turned around to see a cloud of smoke rising, and wondered what just took place. Jack looked at the ground to see only the head of the Komodo dragon remaining, and minutes later joined with the rest of the group. How did you kill the Komodo dragon, and what caused that blast? Asked Kate, happy to see her husband still alive and well. Buried a couple landmines around a pile of leaves and shot them with my gun. I didn't give you all the landmines to kill those 2 spikes because I thought they would come in handy for bigger threats, said Jack. Good plan, yet where did you have them all this time when they are so big? asked Kate. I duct taped them on my back, so that is why I only had two, replied Jack. The group continued onwards after their brief but dangerous encounter with the Komodo dragon and walked for 2 more hours until they reached the second strip of hills. Once they reached the top of the hills, the team looked northwest in the far distance to see a submarine dock and a submarine.